Hey look, I just wanted to stop in, get a little update on the channel, because obviously I stopped posting late last year and I was all pumped because like a few of you had posted on the previous video about the XJ, which is, still going, by the way. Just wanted to check in. We've had a crazy time over the sort of end of last year and up until kind of recently. Some stressful sort of house stuff. Things have been happening. Life happens, that kind of thing. But I haven't been idle. There's been a few projects and things on the go. I really just wanted to say I'm still here. And thank you to everyone who stopped in on the previous video. You're absolute legends. I'm just going to throw this up as is. But I wanted to say thanks to people for checking out that video, and that we've got a few on the go, and I've done a bunch of filming for a few videos. Hopefully they'll be interesting. The first one is going to be probably, if you look out here, out there is the deck to our house, and we've been doing some stuff to it, so a little bit of a video about that. And I know last time I said I was going to start working on a furniture project, which I've also kind of got underway here a little bit, so that'll be another one. And then, and not necessarily in this order, I should say, and then we've also got the bike to get back to with some cool stuff. Actually, here's a little bit of an update on the bike, just to kind of keep everyone moving along with it. Posts from last time were actually mostly about they were about the bike and people's suggestions for what was wrong with it. So let's talk about that. So first things first, managed to find, quite recently actually, another tank for it. So this is the third tank I've got, but it is by far better than the other two. One of them is in structural good shape, which is the green one we've been using. It's down there, but is full of dents across the top, so it's awful. The other one is full of rust, but is straight. This one is the best of both worlds, and the paint still looks pretty good. It's old paint. I suspect this might be, I don't think it's original, but it's been around on there for a while, but so much better. So I'm really happy with that. That's the first thing. The second thing is you'll notice the engine's back together. The previous video was about how we had some rattling noises going on, and the good news is I fixed that. Thank you again to everyone who posted on the previous video. Long story short, the problem was that I hadn't put the front chain guide in correctly. So all the forums you read, the workshop manual, all that kind of stuff, they spend a lot of time talking about the rear chain guide and ensuring that sits into its nice little slot down the bottom. But they don't really mention the front chain guide, and there is a specific spot for that, which I just missed the first time I can put the engine back together. And you can kind of see it here in this picture. That was the clue that I needed to figure out kind of how to get that to sit in its slot correctly, and lo and behold, from there, the issues we were having with the tension on the chain were sorted out. Since then I've done a few things. I've done a bit of valve clearances, of which I've got another one that I need to do because I didn't have a valve shim that was correct for it. I have done a little bit of work on the carbs. We've had them on and off a few times, and I've also done a little bit of finagling around with the tuning, kind of like we did in one of the previous videos. Oh, and also I've changed the exhaust. That's the original exhaust. It was running awful with the bigger exhaust on, and there it is up there. Yes, and while I love that exhaust and the sound of it and the look of it and all that kind of stuff, the priority at the moment is just the bike actually running. And yeah, so that's been interesting to learn about exhausts and the reason why actually a smaller exhaust is more effective in this particular situation. Because I couldn't get the bigger jets that I needed, so we had to drop down the exhaust. And maybe I'll explain my kind of understanding of that at some stage, but for now this is just a little update. The point of all this is to say, hey, still around, the XJ is still going, we've got a few videos on the way, and there's still some interesting stuff to be kind of figured out there before I kind of just start writing it for a while. So thanks again, I've said it 10 times now, but thanks for everyone who checked in on the previous video. You guys are legends. And I'm hoping that we'll have the deck renovation video out within a little while. I still haven't finished it. That step right there needs finishing. And then after, so that'll be probably part one, kind of getting the deck to that situation. And then after that, there'll be another one where we build a fence around it. So I don't know if people will be interested in like a bit of carpentry sort of stuff. Well, carpentry is a strong word. I'm not a carpenter. But, you know, we're going to do some videos on that and see how that goes. And then eventually we'll get back to the bike. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging around while we dealt with some stressful times in our life. But hopefully I can get back on the bandwagon and get a few more videos out in the coming months. Cheers. See you, team.